The glass door gleamed under the midday sun. The boutique was all white marble and gold trim, sitting in the heart of Beverly Hills, an address that spoke louder than any fashion label on its racks. Above the door, in thin, cursive lettering, Maison Véronique. Ava Duclair adjusted her sunglasses and strode up the steps. Tailored black pantsuit, diamond studs, Louboutin heels, understated but undeniable. She didn't need to flaunt. She was Ava Duclair, tech mogul, Forbes list mainstay, and CEO of one of the fastest-growing e-commerce platforms in the world. She had 20 minutes to kill before a lunch meeting down the street. Her executive assistant had mentioned this boutique was famous for hand-stitched coats, something Ava had been meaning to upgrade. On a whim, she decided to pop in. Her hand reached for the door. It didn't move. Locked. Inside, a sales associate glanced up. A blonde woman in a sharp beige dress, mid-30s, sleek bob, practiced smile. The kind of employee trained to profile clients on site. Her eyes flicked over Ava, brown skin, natural curls pinned high, alone. And she frowned. Ava tapped lightly on the glass. The woman strode over, unlocking the door an inch. "Can I help you?" she asked coolly. "Yes, I'd like to take a look inside," Ava replied, voice even. The woman hesitated. "Actually, we're by appointment only," she lied. Ava arched a brow. Behind the woman, a white couple was browsing racks, unbothered. Two more shoppers laughed near the cash wrap. Clearly, not appointment only. "Strange," Ava said softly. "Your website didn't mention that." The woman's expression hardened. "It's our policy. We're quite selective." A beat of silence stretched between them. Ava caught her own reflection in the glass. Polished, powerful, but still on the wrong side of this door. And she knew exactly why. Without another word, Ava stepped back. The door clicked shut. The woman turned away. Ava exhaled slowly. Then, her lips curved into a thin smile. She pulled out her phone, thumbed a quick text to her chief counsel. "Pull acquisition docs on Maison Véronique. Urgent. Call me in 5 minutes." Exactly 7 minutes later, Ava was seated in her Rolls-Royce, air conditioning humming. Her phone buzzed. "Got your message," her lawyer Ben said. "Are you serious? Maison Véronique?" "Dead serious," Ava replied. "I want the brand, the IP, the flagship location, everything." Ben whistled. "It's owned by a holding group in Paris, small player. Financials are weak. They'd likely sell if the price is right." "Make it right," Ava said flatly, "and fast. I want controlling interest signed within the hour. Pay whatever it takes." Ben paused. "Bad experience?" Ava's gaze drifted back to the boutique's gleaming facade. "You could say that." Exactly 10 minutes after that locked door incident, the first offer had been sent. Lawyers scrambled. Phones rang across continents. The boutique manager remained oblivious, smiling falsely at her white customers. She had no idea her life was about to change. Dramatically. And Ava? She smoothed her suit jacket, checked her watch, and headed to her lunch meeting, entirely composed. Sometimes money didn't just talk. It roared. The lunch meeting wrapped in under an hour. Ava barely touched her salmon. She was polite, attentive, sharp as always. But her mind remained on Maison Véronique. By the time her driver opened the Rolls door again, her phone buzzed once more. "Ben." "Done," he said, voice taut with disbelief. "Majority stake secured, 71%. Paperwork pending signatures, but verbal agreements are locked. You'll own the damn thing by tomorrow." Ava allowed herself a rare, quiet laugh. "Good work." Ben hesitated. "You want me to notify their management?" "No," Ava said, eyes narrowing. "I'll do it myself." She had the driver loop back to the boutique. As they approached, the same manager was still inside, smiling, laughing now with a middle-aged couple carrying several bags. Ava's gaze sharpened. The woman looked so sure of her place in the world, so certain of who belonged and who didn't. The rolls slid to a stop. Ava stepped out, shoulders squared, phone in hand. This time when she pushed the door, it opened freely. The same manager blinked as Ava entered, her stilettos clicking on marble. "Oh, hello again." The woman's smile was thin, uneasy. "We're still by appointment?" Ava cut her off with a slight tilt of her head. "You'll want to get your store manager, now." The woman bristled. "I am the store manager." "Then call your corporate liaison. Tell them Ava Duclair would like a word. I'll wait." Something in Ava's tone, unflinching, composed, made the manager hesitate. Her hand trembled slightly as she reached for the phone. 10 tense minutes passed. Ava wandered the boutique slowly, fingers brushing fine fabrics. She could practically hear the manager's frantic whispers from behind the cash wrap. "Yes, her name's Ava Duclair. Yes, that Ava Duclair. What do you mean she's our majority shareholder? That can't be—" The color drained from the woman's face. She looked up and caught Ava's steady gaze. Ava's phone buzzed again. This time, a direct call from the Paris Holding Group's CEO. "Ms. Duclair," the accented voice greeted her, breathless. "It is an honor. We have just been informed. The store is yours, of course. Anything you require." Ava kept her voice cool. "I require a meeting with your executive team, in Paris, tomorrow, and this store's entire staff will be reviewed, immediately." "Yes, of course. Whatever you wish." She ended the call. When Ava looked up again, the boutique manager was staring, pale and shaken. Ava approached her slowly. "You wouldn't let me in because of how I look," Ava said softly. "But now, I own the door, the building, and your job." The woman swallowed hard. I didn't—" Ava raised a hand. "Save it. HR will be in touch." She turned, heels clicking once more, leaving behind stunned silence. Outside, sunlight poured over Beverly Hills. Ava slid into the rolls, calm and regal. Ben texted again. "The media will hear about this soon. Want to comment?" Ava typed back, "Let them. Let everyone hear." Sometimes power wasn't about the money. It was about making sure no one else had to stand outside that door, locked out, judged, dismissed. Not ever again. By the time Ava's car pulled into her Bel Air estate, the news had already started to spread. A leak, probably from someone in the Paris Holding Group, had tipped off a business reporter. The headline was already live on several fashion and finance blogs. Black tech CEO buys majority stake in Maison Veronique hours after being denied entry. The story was irresistible. Part corporate drama, part social justice reckoning. Within minutes, it was trending on X, LinkedIn, Instagram. Ava barely glanced at the headlines. She wasn't doing this for clout. She was doing it because too many people who looked like her still got shut out. In boardrooms, in luxury boutiques, in every place where power was wielded behind thin veils of policy and exclusivity. She wasn't new to racism in high places, but this time, she had the leverage to do something immediate, public, and permanent. Her phone buzzed again, this time a video call from her old friend Maya Harper, editor-in-chief at Vogue Business. Maya's face filled the screen. "Girl, you just blew up my newsroom. Is it true?" Ava smirked faintly. "It's true." "Holy hell." Maya laughed, shaking her head. "You move fast. They must be losing their minds in Paris." "They'll adjust." Ava's voice was even. "This is about more than me. I want the culture of that brand cleaned up. No more profiling, no more selective service, And I want that flagship store to become a model for how luxury brands treat all their customers. Maya's eyes gleamed. You want me to put that on record? Yes, Ava said. Let's make it loud. By that evening, the full story was everywhere. Major outlets picked it up. Billionaire CEO Ava Duclair acquires fashion brand after public racism incident. Power move, black entrepreneur turns discrimination into ownership. Maison Veronique under new leadership after CEO buys out racist boutique. The video of Ava calmly walking out of the store, caught by a paparazzi on Rodeo Drive, was already viral. Thousands of comments poured in. Iconic. This is how you handle racism, with power. Ava Duclair is my new hero. Luxury brands better take notes. Meanwhile, the Paris executives were in full damage control. They issued a statement praising Ava's visionary leadership and promising a comprehensive internal review. Too late. The public had already chosen sides. And Ava? She was already 2 steps ahead. She called an emergency board meeting. Her 71% stake gave her the authority. The agenda was short. Full audit of all store policies and staff. Mandatory diversity and sensitivity training across the brand. Public apology. Not PR speak, but genuine. Leadership changes, starting with the Beverly Hills store. Ben coordinated the legal side. Maya prepped her staff for an exclusive follow-up interview. And Ava drafted her own statement, simple, sharp, and devastatingly clear. I didn't buy Maison Veronique because I wanted another brand in my portfolio. I bought it because no black woman, or any woman of color, should be told she doesn't belong. Now, we all belong. Watch us. She hit send. By midnight, the statement was headline news. Ava closed her laptop, leaned back in her chair, and exhaled. This was only the beginning. There were other doors to unlock, other industries to shake, other brands to reclaim. And she was just getting started. The next morning, Ava's phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Her assistant, Jordan, had to field a flood of calls before she was even out of bed. CNN, BBC, Forbes, Vogue again. New York Times wants an exclusive. And that's just the first hour, Jordan said, breathless. Oh, and the Paris CEO himself is requesting a video call. Ava, still calm, took a sip of her coffee. Schedule it, noon. Jordan hesitated. You want me to confirm the times? Yes, Ava replied coolly. But they'll have to wait. I'm speaking to my staff first. At 11 a.m. sharp, she dialed into a video conference with every Maison Veronique regional manager worldwide. 50 faces on the screen. Some stiff, some openly anxious. Ava appeared on their screens. Crisp white blouse, no-nonsense expression. I'll be brief, she began, voice cutting through the silence. Yesterday, one of your employees decided that my money, my presence, and frankly my skin were not welcome in her store. You all know this by now. A few managers swallowed visibly. A few avoided eye contact. That changes today, Ava continued. You will review your staff, your culture, your assumptions. No more polite racism hidden behind policy. No more profiling. No more whispered excuses. She let the words hang. Luxury does not mean exclusion. It means excellence, for everyone. And if you can't embrace that, you're in the wrong company. A tense pause. Then a few managers nodded, slowly, then more followed. Good, Ava said. Now, your HR teams will receive detailed instructions within the hour. Any questions? Silence. Then a cautious hand raised. A London manager. Ms. Duclair, is it true you intend to restructure leadership? Ava's smile was thin. It is, she clicked off. Noon came. The Paris CEO, Etienne Rousseau, appeared on screen, eyes weary. Ms. Duclair, he began carefully, let me first say, on behalf of the entire company, we regret what happened. Ava held up a hand. Regret is cheap, Monsieur Rousseau. Change is what matters. He flushed. Of course, we are fully prepared to support your initiatives. You will do more than support them, Ava said. You will implement them. I want quarterly audits, transparent hiring practices, and new leadership in Beverly Hills within a week. Etienne hesitated. Replacing the manager might be seen as an admission of guilt. Ava's eyes narrowed. It is an admission of guilt, she said, and it's overdue. She leaned forward slightly. Maison Veronique has a choice. Evolve or watch your brand crumble in this century. Etienne looked down, defeated. Understood. By evening, the headlines shifted again. Maison Veronique CEO orders global diversity overhaul under new ownership. Ava Duclair forces leadership shakeup after racism scandal. Historic day for luxury fashion. Black woman reshapes industry giant. Social media exploded anew. She didn't just buy the brand, she's transforming it. This is what accountability looks like. Luxury will never be the same. But not everyone was pleased. By nightfall, Ava's legal team flagged a new development. Anonymous sources, likely old guard insiders, were feeding hostile leaks to certain conservative outlets. One headline read, "Woke CEO destroys iconic fashion brand in name of inclusion." Another, "Billionaire power grab threatens classic luxury traditions." Ben forwarded the articles. They're pushing back. Ava smiled coldly. Good, she replied. That means we're hitting a nerve. She leaned back, phone in hand, gaze fixed on the city lights outside her window. She knew this fight was bigger than one boutique, bigger than fashion. It was about every space black women were told they didn't belong. And she was far from done. By the next morning, the backlash was in full swing. Anonymous fashion insiders were suddenly all over certain media outlets, painting Ava as an outsider with no appreciation for the heritage of luxury fashion. Pundits accused her of bringing corporate activism into an art form. Social media was torn in two, one side cheering her bold move, the other clutching their pearls about cancel culture and the death of true luxury. Ava barely blinked. She'd expected this. Power never shifted without resistance. Meanwhile, her inner circle worked overtime. Ben updated her constantly. Paris HQ board is rattled, but they're falling in line. Sales are actually up online, if you can believe it. The younger crowd loves this story. Jordan chimed in. We've had over 3,000 emails to Maison Veronique's customer service, all supportive. People want to buy from a brand that finally reflects them. Ava smiled faintly. Good. Keep the pressure on. But trouble was brewing behind the scenes. Late that afternoon, Ben called with a grim update. Got word. Some of the old investors are trying to rally votes to block further reforms. They think they can wait you out, paint this as a PR stunt. Ava's eyes sharpened. How many votes? Not enough to block your majority, but enough to cause noise. If they stall the diversity audits, drag out the HR changes, they think public interest will fade. Ava's voice dropped to steel. Then we won't give them the chance. That evening, she drafted a bold new plan, one even her team hadn't expected. She wasn't just going to fix the Beverly Hills store. She was going to relaunch the entire Maison Veronique brand, globally, under a new, inclusive vision. New collections, new leadership, a new message. And she was going to do it in full public view. The announcement hit the next morning. Maison Veronique to relaunch under new ownership, a luxury brand for a new era. Ava's statement was sharp. Luxury should not exclude. It should elevate. Maison Veronique will become a brand where all are welcome, and where excellence is defined not by gatekeeping, but by creativity, craftsmanship, and respect. Predictably, the backlash intensified. The conservative outlets called it woke corporatism. Anonymous fashion elites decried it as the end of Maison Veronique's soul. Some whispered that Ava was trying to erase the brand's European identity. But the numbers told a different story. Online sales spiked. Younger consumers, millennials, Gen Z, flocked to the brand. Black influencers, Asian influencers, LGBTQ+ fashion icons all began posting, finally a luxury brand that sees us. Ava Duclair is rewriting the rules, and we're here for it. Still, Ava knew this was the fragile stage. The old guard wasn't done fighting. Rumors swirled of a secret investor bloc trying to mount a buyback, to oust her, reclaim control, and restore the brand to its old ways. Ben warned her, "It's real." They're shopping for allies. If they get enough votes, they could force a hostile reversal. Ava's response was cold and clear. "Then we'll outplay them." She stood at her office window late that night, looking over the glowing city. This wasn't just about one racist boutique anymore. It was about who held the keys to culture, and whose stories luxury would tell. She wasn't letting go. Not now. Not ever. Within 2 days, the corporate battle lines were drawn. Ben's latest report was blunt. The old investors are pushing hard. They've formed an informal bloc. They're pitching conservative European investors, promising to restore Maison Veronique's classic values. Ava knew exactly what that meant. Classic values, heritage clientele, coded language for keeping luxury white, old money, exclusionary. "They're terrified," Ava said calmly. "They've ruled this space unchallenged for too long. They think one black woman owning their brand is an existential threat." Ben nodded grimly. "Because it is." The bloc's plan leaked to Financial Times that afternoon. A shadowy group of European investors was deeply concerned about the brand's sudden and radical shift in identity. An anonymous quote in one article fumed, "Maison Veronique has always represented timeless European elegance. This new direction risks alienating its core patrons." Translation: they didn't want Ava's vision, or her customers. Ava called an emergency meeting of her team. "We're going on offense," she said. Ben raised a brow. "How hard?" Ava's eyes flashed. "Very." Within hours, Ava made 2 decisive moves. First, she launched a massive public campaign, Number New Veronique, spotlighting diverse designers, inclusive runway shows, and an open invitation for creators from marginalized communities to collaborate with the brand. Every major fashion influencer and activist Ava had quietly supported over the years joined the movement instantly. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, #NewVeronique exploded. Luxury without limits. A brand where we all belong. Ava Duclair is making history, and they can't stop her. Second, Ava secured new strategic investors, quiet, powerful allies from Silicon Valley, the entertainment world, and progressive European funds. Overnight, she shored up her voting power. When Ben ran the numbers the next morning, he grinned. "You've locked it. Even if they try a vote, they can't touch you now." Ava allowed herself the faintest smile. "Let's make sure they know it." Meanwhile, the conservative bloc panicked. More leaks hit the press, desperate attacks. Maison Veronique's new direction alienates loyal clientele. European luxury shouldn't bow to American woke capital. But public sentiment had shifted. The younger fashion world, the tastemakers of the future, were solidly behind Ava. Maison Veronique's online sales shattered records, and a long list of celebrities, Black, Asian, queer, immigrant, began publicly endorsing the brand. The bloc's final gambit came 2 days later. An emergency board motion for a vote of no confidence. A last-ditch effort to embarrass Ava publicly. Ben called her. They scheduled it for Friday. Ava's voice was ice. Perfect. On Friday, Ava walked into the Paris headquarters herself. White marble, gold trim, eerily similar to that Beverly Hills boutique. But this time, she owned the room. At the long board table, the old block investors sat stiffly, lips pursed. Etienne was pale with tension. Ava took her seat at the head, calm and poised. The lead block investor, a grim-faced aristocrat, stood. We move that Ms. Duclair's direction is damaging the Maison Veronique brand and demand a return to traditional leadership. Silence. Ava looked him dead in the eye. Motion denied, she said. Ben distributed updated shareholder tallies. Ava now controlled 78% voting power. The block was finished. The room erupted, some shocked, some furious, some secretly relieved. Ava stood. Maison Veronique is moving forward, not back, she said coolly, and anyone who cannot align with this vision is welcome to sell their shares immediately. As she left the boardroom, her phone buzzed. Maya from Vogue Business. You just won, Maya said breathlessly. It's all over the news. Ava smiled faintly. I haven't even started, she replied. The very next week, Maison Veronique's transformation went public. Not in boardrooms, but on the runway. Ava had timed it perfectly. Paris Fashion Week. The world's eyes were already on the city. Every major editor, influencer, and buyer was in town. The old guard expected Maison Veronique to pull out, too controversial, after the corporate war. Instead, Ava stunned them all by announcing a surprise runway show, rebranded as Maison Veronique, the new era. The venue? A modern glass pavilion in the 13th arrondissement, far from the stuffy old-money venues the brand once favored. The crowd? Diverse, global, young, powerful. Front row? Black supermodels, queer fashion icons, K-pop stars, Afro-European artists, A-list actors of color, and influential fashion journalists. The old guard investors were nowhere in sight. When the lights dimmed, the first model strode out. A dark-skinned beauty in a flowing avant-garde trench, cut from Veronique's signature fabric, but reimagined. Bold, powerful, unapologetic. The crowd gasped. One after another, models of all races, genders, and sizes stormed the runway. Afro-textured hair in its natural glory, hijabs paired with couture, tattoos and piercings on proud display. Each look whispered the same message. We are here, and this brand is ours now, too. Maya, sitting front row, texted Ava mid-show. You've done it. Ava, watching from the wings, typed back, almost. Backstage, the mood was electric. Designers hugged, models beamed. Many whispered to Ava, thank you. I've waited my whole career to walk for a brand like this. Ava accepted their gratitude gracefully, but her mind was already on the next move. By the next morning, every major outlet was raving. Maison Veronique's dazzling rebirth. The most inclusive show of Paris Fashion Week. Ava Duclair is reshaping luxury fashion forever. Online, the response was nuclear. New Veronique trended worldwide for 72 hours. But not all the noise was positive. Conservative columnists screamed about the death of European fashion. Anonymous former investors leaked bitter quotes to the tabloids. This isn't Maison Veronique anymore. It's a circus. Ava's response? Silence. She didn't need to argue with ghosts. The future was speaking for her. Then came the final blow. Ben entered her office one crisp Paris morning, a wicked grin on his face. Guess what? He said. The block caved. They're selling. Ava blinked. To whom? Ben handed her a folder. To us. By the end of the week, Ava held 92% ownership of Maison Veronique. The old guard was out. Completely. That night, Standing alone in her Paris penthouse, Ava finally let herself feel it. Not victory, not revenge, a shift. She'd done more than buy a brand. She'd cracked open an entire industry, and now the door was wide open for everyone who'd been kept out for too long. The following month felt like a whirlwind. Fashion editors clamored for interviews. Celebrities who'd once shied away from Maison Véronique now begged to wear it. Young designers sent Ava portfolios daily, desperate for a chance to contribute to the brand's new era. And the numbers? They spoke louder than any headline. Maison Véronique's global sales jumped 42% in 6 weeks. Its online presence, once stagnant, now dominated social platforms. The Beverly Hills boutique? After a full staff turnover and redesign, it reopened to record crowds. For the first time, Black shoppers, brown shoppers, queer shoppers, immigrant shoppers all felt welcomed inside its glass doors. Ava visited the boutique quietly one sunny afternoon. No cameras, no entourage. She wore a simple black dress, oversized sunglasses. But this time, the doors opened wide before she even reached them. The new manager, a young Afro-Latina woman named Camilla, greeted her with a warm smile. "Welcome, Ms. Duclair. We're honored to have you." Ava smiled back. "Thank you, Camilla, but today I'm just a customer." She wandered the racks leisurely, noting the subtle changes. Mannequins of varied skin tones, inclusive imagery on the walls, a diverse clientele browsing freely. She spotted a coat, a bold emerald green creation by one of the new black designers Ava had personally scouted. She tried it on. Perfect fit. At the register, Camilla hesitated, eyes sparkling. "May I say something, Miss Duclair?" "Of course." Camilla leaned closer. "When I was hired, I cried," she admitted softly. "Because I'd never imagined someone like me could run a store like this." Ava's gaze softened. "That's why we're here now," she said. "So no one has to imagine. It's real." When Ava left the store, a small crowd had gathered. Not paparazzi, but everyday people. A black mother with her daughter waved shyly. An Asian couple flashed thumbs up. A group of young designers called out, "Thank you, Ava." She smiled, offering a small wave, but didn't linger. She didn't need applause. That night, back in her penthouse, Ava reviewed her next move. Ben had sent a list of legacy brands quietly watching Maison Véronique's meteoric rise, many now eager to partner, afraid of being left behind. Maya texted, "You've cracked it. They'll all have to follow your lead now." Ava replied, "Good. One brand was never the goal." She stood at her window, Paris shimmering below. This wasn't an end. It was a beginning. A shift in who defined luxury, who owned it, who belonged in it. And Ava wasn't done. There were still doors to open, still industries to disrupt, because if one boutique could fall, so could many more. And soon, no one would be left standing on the wrong side of the glass.